Welcome to Easy Color Trading, your gateway to the futures world. Disclaimer: all trading involves high risk. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No implication is being made that anyone using the system has or can obtain such profits and results. This information is merely a presentation of trade strategies. This introduction to Easy Color video clip will cover three components. First, we need to understand your position. Then we will go through the easy setup. And last but not least, we will address the risk-reward expectation. Let's ask the first most important question. What are you looking for? Possibly a system to enhance your trade performance. And before getting to that, we need to know, do you accept occasional losing trades? If the answer is no, the best advice is do not trade anything. Any instrument, doesn't matter, it's going to be stock, directional options, options spreads, and futures. They all have a risk factor. There's no 100% holy grail out there. To be a trader, we must accept this reality, and it is a part of the game, having occasional losing trades. Are you ready to put your system or systems aside? Are you committed to give a new system a fair trial? What's your timeline? Do you have a trading plan? I would strongly recommend you going through all these 5 questions before considering a new system. So once you know what you're looking for, I'll be happy to introduce to you the Easy Color trading system. First, we need to understand the time frames we're using. I recommend using 2 charts, a higher time frame and a lower time frame charts. And you can tell from this higher time frame chart is very simple, because I only expect from the higher time frame to tell me the trend direction. On this higher time frame, I have 2 moving averages on it, and then a trend indicator to color the candles to tell me the trend, whether it's bullish or bearish. Certainly, I love to have the news indicator, or you may prefer a manual way, to track the daily high priority news that will affect the market. When we know the news time, we will stay alert but not trading at all, sit on hands. And same thing when we get close to US Open. For me, I will not trade at least 10 minutes before and after US Open. So back to the higher time frame chart, we use it to tell us to define the trend direction. For the lower time frame now, I like to go through the core indicators. So this is the lower time frame chart for Easy Color, and you can tell it's color coded, and then you can tell whether we are on a downtrend or uptrend just based on the color of the indicators on the chart. So when I created the lower time frame chart, I asked myself, what are the must-have features on the chart? For me, I must have an indication on entry and stop. Stop in a way that it will give me guidance to adjust my initial start, and that way will protect my capital as well. Second thing that I'm looking for is to tell me the trend on a lower time frame interval setting. And the third thing will be the buying and selling pressure. And last but not least, it has to illustrate or tell me what's the volatility based on price action or based on volume and based on real-time context. So for this lower time frame, the indicators that I chose cover all those 4 elements. Let me address each EC core indicator individually. So this one is the first indicator, and it will give me indication on entry plus stop. This indicator EC entry stop will give us triangles, entry triangles when it's in a long position or long trend direction. It will give us an up triangle, and I color it lime color. And when it's bearish, it will give us a down triangle, and I colored it magenta. Certainly the users are flexible, like they have the freedom to color the indicators to their preference. And this indicator at the same time will give us some small dots for us to adjust our stop loss once our trade starts moving to our direction. So for this here, if we are in a long trend based on the higher time frame, the first thing we're looking on the lower time frame will be triangle. Okay, will be an up triangle for a long opportunity and a down triangle for a short opportunity. And once we're in the trade, then the trade starts moving, then we adjust our stop loss. For this example here, will be 1 tick below the green dot, so that we can have our second contract staying in the trade longer. And same for this short example. We will adjust our stop 1 tick above, 1 tick above, until we get stop out, or until we are happy with the ticks that we get for our last contract and choose to exit. So this is the EC entry stop indicator. And I must emphasize though that this indicator alone is not a trade opportunity, is not a trade signal. This indicator is an indication. Now we go to the second EC core indicator, EC candle, and it's a trend indicator telling us that whether the trend is bearish or bullish. So bullish, we color the candle green. Bearish, we color the candle red. So it's based on real-time buying and selling pressure. And the third indicator is a tricolor indicator. Yellow meaning undecided, magenta meaning falling downtrend, aqua meaning uptrend. So this is a trend indicator telling us the trend. Last but not least, this momentum oscillator will measure the volatility of the market. And if it's bullish, it will be green. If it's bearish, it will give us red color. So these are the 4 EC core indicators that are used on the lower time frame chart. Now that you understand the indicators, let's get to the setup, the system setup. For the higher time frame, remember we always start with the higher time frame. So we have some simple entry requirements. We have 2 moving averages on the higher time frame. The fast moving average is the magenta color, and the slow moving average is aqua. We call the setup anticipation of moving average crossover. So when we have both moving averages heading the same direction for this long opportunity, we have the fast magenta rising, and then the aqua seems a little bit rising, but at least not falling against our intended direction. So we have both moving averages heading the same direction. This is our first entry requirement. Then we notice the ticks between the two moving averages must not be more than 4 ticks. And the third requirement, we must have the price break above for this long example. And if it's a short, then we'll expect the price to break below the moving averages. And once we have those 3 conditions, the signal candle here for this one here must be green. So the color must align with the direction we are going to focus. For this long opportunity, this candle, this green candle, was the signal candle. And we have the price breaking above at 136.96 as our higher time frame entry reference. So a quick recap. We call the setup anticipation of moving averages crossover. The first requirement, both moving averages rising or falling. We have maximum 4 ticks between them. We have price break above or break below the moving averages. And last but not least, the candle color has to align with the trend direction we're going to consider. No need to wait for this signal candle to close, but we must pay attention to the moving averages whether you like to take it or not. Okay, so we don't wait for this candle to close before switching to the 5 range to identify the entry point. Now that we know that based on the higher time frame, we're looking for a certain direction like long or short, then we focus on the 5 range entry conditions. On the 5 range, the lower time frame chart, first we must have an entry triangle. If we're looking for a long opportunity based on the higher time frame, then we need to see a green triangle. So once we have a green triangle, we'll check the easy slope. We need to make sure it's rising and aqua color. So once we have the easy slope cooperate with this long intention, we make sure the momentum down here, the oscillator, is green. And price must break above the easy slope, and certainly the signal candle here and possibly our entry candle as well has to be green. So once we have all those 5 range conditions in place, aligned with the 9 range direction, we enter into a long trade. And when the trade starts moving to our direction, like we saw here, we adjust our stop 1 tick below the little dot. If we have a second contract, even we don't have a second contract, we'll still adjust our stop according to the little dot, and that way we'll protect our capital. So for the first contract and for most of the instruments, I recommend an initial stop loss 6 ticks and the first profit target 10. And for trading a fast market like crude oil, CL, I recommend a profit target of 15 and a stop loss of 10 ticks to give the trade a bigger room to move around. So this is the long opportunity based on the 9 range, and that's what we're looking for on the lower time frame. If the higher time frame tells us that we should be looking for a short opportunity on the lower time frame, first thing we look for will be a down triangle. We have it here. Then we have the slope magenta falling. We have momentum red and price breaking below the EC slope. And certainly the candle itself, the signal and entry candle, has to be red. So for this short example, we will enter here. And as soon as the trade starts moving to our direction, we adjust our initial 6 ticks stop loss here. We move it 1 tick above the magenta small stop to protect our capital until we get our first profit target around this area. And if you have a second contract, then you will continue moving your stop loss according to the little dot, 1 tick above. Or if you like having 15 ticks for your second target, then you just exit with 15 ticks. A quick recap on the lower time frame entry requirements. We will have the EC entry up and down triangle. We will have the EC slope rising or falling. The EC momentum on panel 2, which is here, has to be green or red. And price breaks above or below the EC slope. And last but not least, the candle color has to align with the trend direction or with the signal direction we're going to take. Again, we do not need to wait for the signal candle to close. And also, we must always start with the higher time frame for direction first. EC color at a glance. Now you have the higher time frame chart on the left and then the lower time frame chart on the right. So based on the higher time frame, the anticipation of moving average cross above will be around this area, this green candle here. And once we have the 9 range entry reference and all the 9 range conditions in good order, we switch to the lower time frame and look for a long opportunity. We have the triangle, we have the EC slope rising aqua color, we have momentum green, we have price breaking above right here. So this will be our entry reference. And you can tell it's a smooth sell for this one. When a signal is a good one, a valid one, most of the time we have minimal hit. And certainly money management is very important, and we'll use the little dot to adjust our stop to protect our capital before it reach our first profit target around this area. After going through the first setup, anticipation of moving average crossover, after the crossover, we have a defined trend. So this is our second setup. Focus on re-entry once we have a defined trend on the higher time frame. So for this one, we will focus on long opportunity. Same thing we'll be looking for on the 5 range. We know that we have a defined uptrend, so we'll be only considering going long. So first thing will be an up triangle, and then we wait for the slope to cooperate. For this example, we have momentum green, we have price breaking above the EC slope, signal candle green, and we enter here, and this is a re-entry opportunity. And again, this worked out fine for our first profit target. This one you will see a little bit different from the earlier charts or workspace we call, because this consists of the additional bells and whistles, the additional alert indicators that I created over the last 4 months. They are optional, and then they simply help the users to enhance their easy understanding based on the 9 range and 5 range entry requirements. And they are free to the current users to use. And some users choose to stay with the original setup, meaning they prefer to internalize all the 9 range and 5 range entry requirements in themselves, and they don't count on the additional or optional alert indicators to help them to trade. But it's up to the individual, and thus bells and whistles are free to them to use. Now that we cover the first three elements, I like to go for the last, also important component or ingredient for successful trading, and will be trade and management, trade and money management. Interval setting. You'll notice for easy color, I propose to use 9 range for higher time frame and 5 range for lower time frame. And this interval setting gives me a comfort feeling that I will only need to have a small cushion, a small stop cushion of 6 ticks most of the time. With the first profit target at 10, the reward risk ratio is always over 1.5 to 1, which is extremely important for me. So a quick recap for the interval setting, I've been recommending 9 range and 5 range. And for profit target and stop loss, I suggest for most currency futures, index futures, profit target of 10 ticks and stop loss at 6 ticks. And for crude oil CL, I suggest profit target at 15 with a bigger stop loss at 10. And you can tell the reward risk ratio is above 1.5 to 1. Win percentage. It's also very important that we must have a win percentage between 60 to 70%. That is a must. If a system does not have at least 60% win rate, and also the reward risk ratio is less than 1 to 1, then it's not going to be a profitable system. We just need to do a quick math tabulation and you will see the big picture. So when you evaluate a trading system or design your own trading system, I will recommend you to consider all those 4 elements. The primary goal of trading, for me, will always be capital protection. Okay? And also, it's very important to develop a smart trading plan. And we need to have our daily rules in place and follow them diligently. And if we have all this, the end result will be successful trading on a consistent basis. We always emphasize that discipline is very important, and I agree with it 100%. We always strive to be a disciplined trader, and we prepare a smart plan. What is a smart plan? Has to be specific. You need to know who, when, what, where, why, and how, and probably you have more things to consider, but just to make it very specific. Measurable. The results, the objectives has to be quantitative. Achievable. We need to set reasonable expectation on the system and also on your own performance. Reasonable has to be realistic too. Time bound. We need to have a time schedule with milestones and projection, and that way we have something to measure to look forward to. So prepare a smart plan. Congratulations. So if you have all what I just went through, you are going to be an easy trader, a profitable trader, I believe. And you are the most important component to develop a profitable trading profession. Let me quickly go through the Easy Color subscription. It doesn't matter whether you're going to subscribe on a monthly package, the quarterly or the annual one. The Easy Color system package comes with the main easy indicators and the optional easy alert indicators if you want to use them. And also the easy templates with two different backgrounds, the black and light. Same for workspaces. We have a black and light background ones for you to consider. And it also comes with easy menus, a very simple one to go through the entry rules. And you have access to the easy video screenshot list with hyperlinks, and also access to the easy forum. And the forum, I have a must read thread for the easy users. This will give you a better idea. On the left, you will see we have over 10 videos for the subscribers. So once you go through all of them or most of them, and some of them you're free to watch them as many times as you want. And that way you will have the system rules in yourself. Very, very important. And on the right, you will see the screenshots, the daily screenshots. It consists of, I believe, at least or close to 30 of them, starting from June up to October. So this will give you enough ideas on the signals. So this will be part of the Easy Color subscription. I hope you enjoyed this introduction video, and if you have questions, please feel free to complete the contact form, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.